Retinol. It's an ingredient that everyone's heard of and everyone wants to be able to use. It's known as an active ingredient, something that can really help your skin to achieve measurable results. But it's also an ingredient that many people have struggled with over time. They may have experienced irritation or flaking or dryness. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of a guide on retinols and how you can use them and introduce them into your routine. And I'll be honest, there are very few skins that can't use retinol. The only absolute no for me is pregnancy and breastfeeding. So if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, you should look at alternatives to retinol for that period of time. But everyone else, it may not be that a retinol's right for you right now. It may be that if you have very sensitive skin, we need to work on your barrier function before we introduce the actives. But most skins can find a retinol or a retinol associated product that will work for them. In some ways, the easiest is if you have an oilier skin type. So oilier skin types tend to be quite robust. They are a bit more resilient and they can take more active ingredients being thrown at them. And those skin types are also more likely to suffer with acne and breakouts. I'm not a fan of a no pain, no gain approach. So I'm not someone who will go straight in with the big guns and give you the most strong and aggressive retinoid available. But sometimes if you have acne, we do need to go a little bit more strongly and we do need to use prescription products that can be associated with a little bit of downtime and dryness and shedding, even in the oilier skin type. But generally, if you've just got the oilier skin type and you're wanting the benefit of an anti-aging retinoid in your routine, then most retinols will suit you. But it goes without saying that you should probably try to avoid the ones designed for sensitive skin, because you might find they just don't penetrate or deliver as much as you need. And also where there is a retinol ladder, and we often advise starting weaker and going stronger, that's still the right way to go about it, but you might find that you're not seeing much or achieving much when you go in with a 0.3% retinol, and that it's not until you get to those more potent formulations that you're going to notice a difference. Now, on the converse, if you've got very sensitive or reactive or dry skin, you might find retinol a real challenge to introduce. You may have tried a 0.3% formulation and you still reacted, you were red and you were sore. Now, retinol is actually something that the cells produce, and there are precursors to retinol that you can use, which are great options for more sensitive skin, so retinol esters. And Medik8, for example, has some great options. They have their retinoids, which is a really effective but more gentle formulation. And if you know you're a sensitive skin type, use just a little bit. Don't use too much. It's not that the more you put on, the better the result's going to be. And just start by trying it once a week at night. See how you go. Make sure that once it's sunk in, about 20 minutes later, you're putting on a moisturizer, so you're helping to support your barrier function, and see how you go with that. Make sure you're maintaining other skin health like hydration. For some people, even that's too much to begin with, and we need to start by simply focusing on repairing their skin barrier a little bit before we start adding in the actives. But with time, rest assured that we can look at introducing retinol for almost everybody. It may be that if you struggle with sensitivity across your cheeks, for example, but you have some lines on your forehead that bother you, that you can mosaic your skincare and you can use retinol more frequently on the areas where you have more aging concerns, and less frequently / not at all on the areas where you're more reactive and sensitive. Anti-aging retinol. And again, if you have a normal balanced skin type but you're looking to introduce retinol into your routine, you're going to do well with most products. I will always advocate starting with a 0.3 or a 0.5% formulation. Don't go straight in with the biggest and the strongest, and start the first week or two just by using it twice a week. Be mindful of when you're using other actives in your routine, so don't use your retinol at the same time as you're using your AHAs, because it could be that you find you get more sensitized that way. So start with twice a week. After a couple of weeks, increase it to every other night, and then if that's been fine, after a couple of weeks, go up to every night. Again, you can support your moisture levels if you want to by letting that sink in and then applying a moisturizer afterwards. With time, you can also increase your formulation. So when you have found a product that you're using every night and you're not reacting to, think about then when your next product purchase is due, increasing the strength a little bit. And of course, it's not that there are unlimited number of strengths of retinoid, but there are some products available which are slightly more intense and subsequently will possibly yield better results for you. I do believe that retinol is a great ingredient for almost everybody. But if you are struggling, or you're in that category I said at the beginning that cannot use retinol, pregnancy and breastfeeding, or you are very sensitive and despite trying to go gently, you've still reacted, then look out for plant-based alternatives. And bakuchiol is the big one, which has been shown on studies to be potentially as effective as retinol. And you can use that twice a day because there's no photosensitizing effect. So with retinol, we'll say apply it at night and make sure you wear a sunscreen during the day. But with bakuchiol, it's okay to use morning and night, and you're not going to find you're more sensitive to the sun than you would have been otherwise. If this content has been useful for you, please give it a thumbs up or send me a little message below, and please do subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this.